about everything that was said, and a thought that came to my mind, and also looking at some of the questions that were coming through, on the chat, is sometimes when we talk about trust, it can come across as an airy-fairy, elusive concept where it isn't clear. What do you mean? How do you know when you've got, you've got the trust as an organization? And I thought maybe it would be quite important, maybe just to leave behind what are some of those trust dimensions, something that's very tangible that you can actually measure yourself against, either as an organization or as the leader. Because with this conversation that led to leadership as well, and then it becomes both on a personal perspective and the organizational perspective. So we look at trust and say there are approximately 5 dimensions of trust. First one being the ability, which is functional trust, where you have to prove competence, either as an organization or as a leader, that you can do what you say you can do. So the thing the public, your customers, the health citizens are trusting you to do, you've got the competence to do. And sometimes when we look at the different institutions in society, that is the difference between government, business, and NGOs, because it's sometimes the level of trust in the competence. And that's something that we need to portray and say out, are we competent? Are we showing our competence in that? And then secondly, it will be on dependability. Again, doing what you said when you said you would do it. And that talks to reliability. That's a key aspect of trust. So you can check on, have I delivered on the promises that I've made? And I'm just touching back on when Lolem was making an example of their town hall. Some of the questions that you'll get from employees, somebody asking, what happened to the conversation that was started however many months ago that just sort of, fizzled and nobody knows what happened. And it happens a lot internally. So sometimes those organizations, we prioritize what we do and the face we have externally, and a lot less internally. We're like, okay, we'll update them when we've got something to update, and we don't actually treat employees and internal stakeholders the same as we do external stakeholders, but actually they are also holding us accountable. So that whole principle of under-promising and over-delivering becomes quite key, both internally and externally. So that talks about how dependable are you. And then the third one is integrity. It talks about now honesty. Are you understand your morals and ethical, that talks about that moral and ethical trust. So that's another tool or one of the tick boxes that you check as an organization to see how you fare in terms of trust. The fourth one is purpose, and that ties into your environmental and societal influence. What role are you playing into the bigger societal issues? Or are you only just focusing on yourself and your organizations without looking much more on the broader impact you have on society? That's why ESG and such things are so important in these days, because it shows that you care about the environment and the society that you are part of. And lastly, self as a person or the organization, in terms of your own personal and cultural relevance. It's so important to be relevant within the time and the landscape within which you operate. So I just wanted to ensure that trust is it's not a feeling. I feel that we are trusted. It's not a feeling. It's actually something you can measure, to say, how do we fare against these things? And then you will be able to see which area you should be improving on, and then you can employ and deploy certain tactics to actually improve those specific areas. So yeah, I'm excited. I've had a lovely time engaging with all of you on trust, and I think there's just so much more to unpack in the future. Thank you very much.